every founder founder out there I know for sure, founding team, and anyone that's kind of been in the startup to high growth, everyone has had their near-death experiences. You're walking a gauntlet, and you're always tinkering on survival and death, especially as an early stage company. And we went through that. I'd say the difference there is that you still feel like you can control the outcome. You have some control. The thing with the pandemic for us, and to give you some sense of where we were, and I'll take you to February of 2020. February of 2020, we had just finished our board meeting. We were up to 34 locations. We had 1 million square feet under development, including expanding into London. Financially, the business was performing incredibly well, over 200 million in revenue, profitable, wind at our sails. We had kind of navigated the WeWork mess from a brand perspective where, I think the market and our clients and landlord partners knew that we were a different business. We were a hospitality business, not a co-working business. And, we're in the middle of closing a large pre-IPO equity round, which would have, one, provided liquidity to a lot of our existing investors, which, people were very excited about. And it would have put $200 million of cash on our balance sheet and positioned us to be, the clear winner in our category. And we walk out of that board meeting high-fiving, second week of February. And in less than 3 weeks later, we had shut down every location. We went from 1,000 employees to less than 100 between layoff and furlough. We had stopped paying all of our landlords and our lender. And the pre-IPO deal was gone. And we had enough cash, but not enough cash to navigate through revenues going from 220 million to zero for 2 years. So literally, we pretty much mothballed the company for almost 2 years. And then had to pretty much take the company through almost like an out-of-court restructuring of the entire business. And somehow, I would say, resilience, grit, but a shit ton of luck too. And we were able to kind of navigate our way through and, recap the business in 2022 with Aries and Hudson Bay Company. And, thankfully, the world reopened and companies came back to meeting and needed places to work. But it was 2 years of, I would say a constant existential crisis. And, the hardest part for me, especially when you're a company that is committed so much and cares so much about your people, your culture, your values, the human side of this, knowing that, you have all of these people, 1,000 people that are dependent on you to pay their bills, take care of their families, and to kind of have to make the decisions we had to make as an executive team quickly to survive. It was traumatic, and we did everything we could. Our executive team, we donated our salaries to an employee relief fund. We had employees writing letters in to apply to this relief fund. And I remember, my family and I were all together, and like so many of us were, and I would read these letters to my family after dinner, and everybody would be crying, like bawling. And, it's that for me as like a founder and CEO that like I take with me in that experience. And now coming out of it, doing everything I can to make sure, we diversify our business. If the next black swan event happens, that we're never in a position again where we have to make the decisions we made to survive. Because not something I think and I know for a fact the team would ever want to have to go through again.